my name is Keana Ortiz, and I'll be shooting this documentary about one of the most controversial issues in the United States right now, that is the border wall. More specifically, though, we're going to be talking about the opposition of the border wall. So right now, in the United States, we have this fence that runs along the border, and the plan is to build something much greater, bigger, that's going to take up a lot of space. Can you state your name, please?
My name is Maria T. Rodriguez.
And where were you born?
I was born in Tamaulipas, Mexico, city of Rio Bravo.
Okay. How long have you lived in the Rio Grande Valley?
Well over 40 years.
Okay. What is your take on the border wall? Are you for or against it?
I am against the border wall.
Is there a reason why?
Yes, more than one reason. First, I feel, and part of it through my own experience, but I feel that any parent or parents that care about their children and want them to have a successful life, they're going to try whatever means possible to get them to the United States, because it is a country that has given many an opportunity to succeed and have a better life.
Okay. Do you have any personal stories that you want to share about the border wall or how it's affected you?
Well, having come to the United States at a very young age, I realized that my parents wanted us to have a better life here. Yes, in Mexico, he was able to provide for us. He was a farmer, and my mother, took care of the household. But education was his number one worry about us. There was no way that I could continue my education past the 6th grade. There was no nearby schools. We didn't have the money or the transportation, and that's when he decided to bring us to the United States. Now, for the people that are coming across now from Central America and Mexico, it's not just wanting to get to the United States for the American dream. Yes, it's a major part of it, but they are going through drug wars right now, and people are getting killed. And from what we see in the news is these parents are desperate. They want to save their children's lives.
How has being a Valley resident influenced or shaped your perspective on the border wall?
First of all, living here and becoming part of the melting pot, I've been able to see a lot, experience a lot. Leaving a country, your birth country, is very difficult because that's the country that made you who you are. But you have to say that to that country goodbye and come to the United States. And you become part of the United States. And I became a citizen, and ultimately that's the dream of most of the people that come across. As a teacher, I met a student because she couldn't work. And one day she didn't know how to do the assignments, and one day she pulled me aside and she says, "Mrs. Rodriguez, I just came from Mexico, but they never sent me to school over there. We didn't have a school where we lived." Eye-opener, because a lot of kids can't even go to school in a lot of these places. They've never gone a day in their lives. So yeah, they want to come and become a citizen of this country, eventually a legal citizen for most of them. Yes, this is a country to come to. and they should be received with open arms.
Do you think the strong sense of Mexican American culture in the Rio Grande Valley is contingent on an open border?
Open borders, yes, more people are going to come, but there's from ethnic speaking, Spanish speaking countries, but they're good for the U.S. societies because once they come with their culture, but they assimilate with the American culture. And both cultures borrow from each other, and the valley we get stronger with both cultures coming together.
Following clip, we have Osvaldo Jimenez discussing his opinion on the border wall. Can you state your name, your place of birth, and how long you've been in the valley?
My name is Osvaldo Jimenez. I was born in Harlingen, Texas, and I have lived in the valley all of my life, so 20 years.
Can you tell me if you are for or against the border wall and why?
I am against the border wall, and mainly it is because I believe it won't solve anything. I believe it is a waste of money, and I believe it would create negative propaganda for the United States.
Do you have any personal experiences relating to the mix of cultures?
Yes, I do. One story that stands out goes back to when I was a third grader, and we were about to take what was then called the tax test. And because I was the firstborn in my family, my parents speak Spanish, and my parents come from Mexico. Well, my English wasn't very well, so whenever tax came around, I was forced to take my tax test in Spanish, and that's when I realized, I'm between two different cultures, and yeah.
How does the border wall connect to bigger social issues for the valley or for society in general?
A few issues that come to mind. Well, two issues come to mind. The first one being, I don't believe the United States has the funds to build $1 billion wall. And the second one being that building a wall would influence racism and discrimination towards Mexicans.
Next up, we have Graciela Treviño representing her generation's opinion on the border wall. ¿Me puede decir su nombre, lugar de nacimiento y cuánto tiempo lleva viviendo en el Río Grande?
Mi nombre es Graciela Treviño y nací en un pueblo llamado Villagrán, Tamaulipas, y que llevo de vivir aquí, tengo 46 años.
Okay. ¿Está a favor o en contra del muro fronterizo y por qué?
Estoy en contra del muro fronterizo porque está dividiendo a las familias.
¿Tiene alguna experiencia relacionada a la mezcla de culturas?
No, ninguna.
¿Cómo está el muro fronterizo relacionado a problemas sociales en el valle y sociedad?
La mayoría de las personas aquí en el valle no están de acuerdo con el muro, porque así como nosotros nos vinimos a buscar una mejor manera para nuestros hijos, para que tuvieran una mejor educación, nosotros vinimos a trabajar. Lo mismo quieren las personas que se están viniendo para acá. Vienen a trabajar para un mejor vivir para su familia.
After conducting these 3 interviews with individuals of various age categories, it is evident that the majority of Valley residents are in direct opposition of the proposed border wall. Their perspective has been shaped by their own unique experiences. However, together we stand against a border wall.